The film opens with a college student named James who almost oversleeps and rushes through the streets so he won't miss his philosophy class. When he arrives, the lecture has already begun. Their philosophy teacher, Mr. Zimmet, is leading a discussion about thought experiments. The examples are fascinating, like the one about a monkey that, given infinite time, might randomly type out Shakespeare's Hamlet word for word, or moral dilemmas, such as choosing whether to save a single girl trapped in a tower or a group of people on train tracks. Since the semester is ending, Mr. Zimmet announces a very unusual final exam. He places a box on the table. Inside are slips of paper, each with a different profession. The rules are brutal. Imagine the world is facing nuclear catastrophe. The only safe place is an underground bunker that can only hold 10 people. But here's the catch: there are 21 people in the class, including oxygen, food, and sleeping space are all designed for just 10. That means some must survive, while the rest must be left to die. One by one, students draw slips from the box. Some are lucky. Doctor, civil engineer, farmer, electrician, senator, psychotherapist, soldier, carpenter. Others draw less useful roles, like poet or opera singer, and are immediately eliminated. In the end, 9 students are chosen, plus 1 seat for Mr. Zimmet. Together, they form the perfect group to survive in the bunker for a year. But Zimmet reveals a darker side. To reduce numbers, he executes the rejected students, claiming it's more merciful than letting them die slowly from radiation. The selected survivors rush into the bunker, leaving Zimmet outside as the door slams shut in front of him. One student, Petra, feels pit. She sneaks to the inner door and sees Zimmet outside, burned and badly injured. He holds up a note. "I'm the only one who knows the code. If they ever want to open the bunker, they'll need him." But fearing a trap, the group decides to ignore him. They endure a full year underground. Days turn into months. But when the time comes to leave, they realize Zimmet was telling the truth. The door requires a code only he knows. Panic sets in. They try breaking down the door with guns, crowbars, even digging through. Nothing works. Supplies run out. In desperation, they eat the corpse of one student. Others choose suicide rather than starving. Eventually, oxygen runs out and everyone The first experiment ends in total failure. The second experiment, Zimmet restarts the simulation with new conditions. This time, not only professions, but also personal traits matter. The group includes a gay farmer, a chemist with excellent genetics, a stockbroker with gold, a sales agent, an obstetrician, a lawyer, a senator, a barren carpenter, and a soldier with photographic memory. Again, one seat is reserved for Zimmet. The chosen survivors enter the bunker. This time, the focus is on repopulating humanity. Students pair off to conceive children, but James, who is gay, cannot be with Petra. She reluctantly pairs with Zimmet. Yet none of the women become pregnant. Frustrated, Zimmet forces new rules. The women must swap partners to increase chances, but Bonnie refuses. Enraged, Zimmet storms in with a gun and gives her an ultimatum: comply or be removed from the experiment. Suddenly, Jack, who was hiding, attacks Zimmet and manages to seize the gun. The professor is badly injured and staggers to the bunker door. He starts entering the code. The group tries to stop him, but they're too late. The second experiment collapses in failure. The third experiment? The deserted island? James, suspicious, opens the box and discovers Zimmet's manipulation. His gay farmer role had been deliberately rigged to humiliate him. James realizes the professor is playing a personal game, not just a logical one. Now the scenario shifts to a deserted island. Petra takes control this time, choosing students who were previously eliminated, but Zimmet disagrees and tries to ban them. When he reaches for a weapon, Petra reveals he already stole it. Zimmet insists only he knows the bunker code, but Bonnie suddenly recites the numbers flawlessly. She had seen him enter it before and memorized it with her photographic memory. Petra invites Bonnie into the bunker, but she declines. Instead, Petra picks chips. the carpenter. But Chips betrays her, he shoves Petsa into the bunker and locks it, taking a boat with others to another island. Petra and her group spend a year inside. Surprisingly, they survive without the so-called essential professions Zimmer claimed they needed. They pass time reading poetry, playing cards, even performing theater. When they finally open the bunker, the island is safe. No radiation, no bombs. Zyma's warnings were false. They've proven survival is possible, even without his strict rules. But then, Zimmet reappears, armed and unstable. He points a gun and sets a bomb, determined to prove his point. The students resist, and James ultimately presses the bomb's trigger, ending the experiment once and for all. The ending, the students turn in their notebooks and leave the class. Only Petra lingers. She confronts Zimmet, whose real name is Eric, and reveals she knows his true motive: jealousy. He had rigged the experiment to humiliate James out of spite over Petra's closeness to him. Petra refuses Eric's plea to stay by his side. She chooses James instead, planning to leave for another city. The film closes with two possible endings. In one, Eric continues teaching as if nothing happened. In another, he stares at a pistol in silence, his fate left unresolved. That's the complete story of this thought-provoking film, full of moral dilemmas, manipulation, and the clash between logic and humanity.